happens when you complete the game that you've been trapped in for God knows how long. You thank all of the people who have helped you over that course of the journey, and then a new strange gate opens up behind you and transports you into another world. Join me as we look at The New Gate. The New Gate was originally a light novel created by Kazunami Shinogi. However, today we are going to look at the manga version, adapting the source material. Written by Kazunami Shinogi themselves and illustrated by Yoshiyuki Miwa, it allows a new generation to experience this title. Now, first up, I want to give a huge thanks to One Piece Books for giving me the opportunity to review their latest title, The New Gate, Volume 1. This is the manga version. The light novel edition so far has not been announced. And keep that in mind when I am reviewing it. It is the stuff that happens in the manga. I have no concept of what actually happens beyond this in the light novel, so we'll try and keep it spoiler light, shall we? The New Gate is an online game transformed into a life and death struggle for its players. Thanks to the valiant efforts of Shin, the most powerful of them all, an end to the game and freedom for everyone seemed within reach. But just moments after Shin defeats the game's final boss, he finds himself bathed in an unknown light and transported some 500 years into the future of the in-game world. Typical. Absolutely typical. You finish one game and you're immediately thrust into another. I mean, when else is that ever going to happen? Shin has been thrown from a simple game gone wrong into a strange new land, one very similar to the one he's just completed. He finds that his magic is overpowered, his currency is incredibly valuable, and the enemies are so incredibly weak. Just why I always wanted another overpowered isekai. Shortly after starting his quest, he goes back to his home point, a point where he feels more safe. This turns out to be a shop. There he comes across a beautiful black-haired elf. In absolute true isekai fashion, the first character Shin meets dumps tons and tons of information. How do curses work? How does this world work? How does money work in this? Oh, your money is worth thousands of thousands of thousands of thousands of thousands of gold. You are rich. Well done you. But despite familiarity, it's characters that drive a series forward, and honestly, The New Gate is jam-packed full of them. Shin is a confident young man who is actually competent in what he does. We aren't going to be getting no nerd or weeb who's just been transported and is quite useless. And his power comes from him being insanely good at the previous game, rather than be bequeathed upon him. It really feels more like Overlord or Tanya in that the characters have done the work just to get as far as they have. Something which I really like. Other than that, he doesn't really stand out. He's your typical hero trope in that he's good for the sake of being good. I'd like to have seen a little bit more flaws. Another character, Tiara, is an absolute joy, and if this had an anime, she'd easily be waifu material. She will be a waifu. Oh yes, she will be a waifu. And honestly, the series really feels like a game. For its benefit really. Stats, unique monsters, equips, loot are all par course for the norm, and the New Gate really lends itself well to this. Rather than having real world transported into a game, Shin goes from game to game. Let's face it, if you've played a game or read any of Isekai in the last few years, you're probably going to have a good idea of what's going to be happening here. Art-wise, the series looks rather nice. Each character looks distinctive, and I really like what they've done with what they've got. It's not going to win any awards, but I feel I got into the series a lot easier than perhaps I would have if this was a light novel. The fights especially are really nice, as tends to be the case in these things, with a nice attention to detail. Often fights in light novels tend to be long-winded or too short, usually depending on the author's skill. This is the latter, but by no means a disappointment. It works well, and shows Shin is being overpowered, with some really nice attacks. And while I may have said that this is a game for some time, that doesn't say it's a bad series. In fact, The New Gate is good at what it does. It brings us a nice down-to-earth character introduced into a brand new game with not only familiar aspects, but a foreign concept of the entire world. The whole world feels incredibly well built and well thought out, rather than just kind of, ooh, this happens because, well, why not? We've got to introduce this stuff. And it's nice to see more of a Western RPG done rather than the whole, it's just Dragon Quest again. While Dragon Quest may be one of the top titles of all time, it's nice to see a title that feels more, I don't know, fantasy. Traditional fantasy. But that's just my opinion. What did you guys think of it? If you've read it or if you've read the light novel, let me know in the comments. Please try and keep spoilers to a minimum. And thank you once again for One Piece Books for issuing me a review copy of this fantastic title. It's got an interesting premise, a good character set, and a nice dropping off point. You're going to be coming back for more. Now, if only I could get isekai'd into another world and avoid this virus.